May the Noble Triple Gem bless you all. Welcome to another episode in our Journey to Freedom from Addiction series. Last time, we discussed the possibilities of inhibiting the addiction cycle by considering each step, and I mentioned that we could do something with the view or the mindset towards the substance to inhibit the cycle completely. I invite you to apply all the concepts that we are discussing in this video series to your life experiences and verify these concepts in your mind, which definitely help you to find a way to escape from all the addictions. Today, let's explore how views or ideas affect the mind's activity. In order to understand it, let's have a look at the manual of the mind, which you haven't read or studied even though you were using this instrument called the mind from the birth. It is so funny, isn't it? As we are using this instrument from the birth without reading the Safety Operating Procedure or SOP. I know there was no one to educate about these things. Do not worry, even for me, I didn't have anyone. That's why I left my lay life even after completing a PhD in biochemistry, because I found a teacher who can guide me to find myself. There are more than 500 individuals in our monastery practice these concepts to understand and explore the mechanism of the mind. So I am conveying not something that only I practice, but also a collective wisdom. In this video, I will scratch the surface to give you some idea about the science of the mind. However, there will be a different video series that will delve deeper into exploring the mind. Okay, the mind's job is to perceive what it receives from the senses. There are 5 physical senses and 1 mental sensor. What are they? Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body are the 5 physical senses which receive sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, respectively. The mind itself is a mental sensor that senses your memories or imaginations. The mind interprets these signals and perceives them. In simple, the mind's job is to interpret the stimulus it receives. This minding process is always affected by the point of view or the beliefs. In other words, perception always depends on the idea or perspectives. Here I am using words such as view, belief, idea, or perspective to convey this message more clearly, because I want you to sense the same thing that I perceive in my mind. Let's look at this through an example. Imagine you are in a gathering with some strangers, and suddenly one of your best friends approaches you to warn you that the man sitting in that corner is not a good person. He advises you to be cautious while interacting with him. After learning about that person from your friend, you started to feel negativity towards him and become cautious about dealing with him, which you never had before. Now you understand that since you embrace the view about that man from your friend, your mind perceives it negatively. This shows that your mind activity is always influenced by the view or the idea that the mind bears. Let's take more example as you can understand it more clearly. The clock time is a convention rather than a reality, isn't it? People established in different countries depending on the earth's spin. However, when you reply to someone's question about the time, you feel like it is the actual time, real time. From the bottom of your heart, you sense the time is actual or real. Do you agree with me? When you talk about time with someone, do you have an inner understanding that time is a convention? No. You always feel it is something authentic or realistic. This happens because of the way the mind works. Whenever people come together and establish conventions, the mind perceives them as reality. This is because the mind believes that if everyone accepts something as true, it must be true. Is it? Do you think the truth is truth because we all believe? No, isn't it? Furthermore, you can extend this idea even to countries, currencies, and special days like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, etc. Even though all these are conventions, the mind perceives them as reality because of the views it bears. Think about this. You always feel it is truly your birthday when it comes to the birthday on the calendar. Is it really your birthday or is it just a convention? Since everyone does not understand the science of the mind, people perceive and embrace conventions as reality. Here I am not saying establishing conventions are wrong. I wanted to raise a point that our mind authenticizes the conventions. Now you can understand that views shape the thought process in the mind. Whatever you start to believe, the mind shows as real despite its validity. In simpler, you feel things according to the way you look at them. The way you see is the way you get it. You have been using this dangerous instrument from birth until now without knowing its functionality, isn't it? This means we have to question and analyze the views and beliefs that we have taken into our minds since we were young. As we discussed in our previous episodes, the idea that substances gives pleasure causes cravings and trigger addictions. I think we have to look back in order to check the validity of the idea that external substances or experiences give pleasure. What do you think? Yes, let's analyze them in the next episode. Hope you understand what I wanted to convey to you. And should you have doubts, feel free to post in the comment section below, as we are devoted to helping you achieve a solution. See you in the next episode of Journey to Freedom from Addiction to brighten up your life.